it is, and the weather is even cooperating. I kept telling people it would not rain on the last Sunday, and look, I got lucky. But anyway, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm the Reverend Dave Clement. I serve this congregation as their developmental minister, and I especially like, as I look out here, I see a lot of faces that are new, and I want you to feel welcome today. And hope that you'll go away feeling like this is a place where you belong, because we're so happy to have you here with us. Whether this is your first Sunday, your last Sunday, your next Sunday, whatever, we're happy that you're here. As far as announcements, we have an opportunity today to have a photography after a coffee hour. The communications team is going to be taking these pictures so we can actually have some happy pictures on our website. Won't that be great? So cooperate with them, and they have release forms that you can sign that allows us to use your picture. Some great news, we have a new member. Sally gave birth to a 6-pound, 13-ounce baby boy. 10.5 inches long, and mother and baby are doing well. I think grandmother is very tired, though. So, October 5th, which will be next Sunday at 4 p.m., I invite you to a memorial service for Terry Lee Burgess, and that will be held here. And then the last thing is, on October 19th, we're having a working Annie. Am I saying this right? Okay, there you go. Please come and join us as we have an opportunity to do some projects on our property to kind of spruce it up. All month long, we've been celebrating the fact that we've been around for 70 years, and we've been hearing stories from longtime members, and today we get to hear from Ron Brandt. So, Ron?
Thank you, Dave. Before Dorothy and I moved here in 1978, we had been members of the UU Church in Lincoln, Nebraska. So when we bought the house where we still live, we were delighted to see a sign on Fort Hunt Road saying that a Unitarian church was nearby. We promptly joined MVUC, and through the years, we've been involved in this church in many ways. For this little talk, I'll emphasize music. There were some notable musical events I should mention that took place before I came to MVUC, especially some outdoor fundraising concerts right after the church bought this property, and later on, Friday night coffee houses. I've been told that a devoted parent who helped organize these events was Linda Olson Peebles. Of course, that was before Linda became a director of RE and a full-fledged minister. In the first few years Dorothy and I attended MVUC, Sunday services were held in the building that the original owners of the property had used as their guest house. That building, which was our chapel for 30 years, is now a nearby private home. There was no choir in those days, and none of the fine piano music we've come to expect. Instead, we had recorded music provided by Harry Jackson. I was chair of the board in 1982 when the congregation voted to sell the chapel and 3 acres of grounds in order to build a proper church. There was some controversy over that decision, of course, but we held together successfully. We moved into this building in 1985, and for the next few years, our church struggled to develop a music program suitable for these new quarters. For much of that time, a small, struggling choir was led by Mimi Stevens, and Mimi was among those who advocated hiring a qualified music director. And so in 1992, Forrest Toby was appointed as halftime music director, and the music committee launched a church-wide effort to recruit more choir members. I answered the call at that time, as did several other current choir members, including all 4 basses: Carl Lohman, Joe Kitrasser, not here this morning, Ellen Bunner, and me. It has been my good fortune to have sung side by side with Ellen Bunner for 33 years. And partly because of Forrest Toby's determination, the church purchased a first-class piano, the Hoffman, which was expensive, but through the years has proved its worth. To help pay for the piano, the choir held a series of concerts organized by Leila Goodman. Forrest Toby was not provided an accompanist. He directed from the keyboard. But because he was working on his doctor's degree, Forrest organized several major concerts, in each of which the choir was thrilled to be supported by a professional orchestra and guest soloist. After Forrest left here in 2003, we had a few short-term directors, and when Reverend Kate Walker became our minister in 2008, she helped select Mark Zimmerman as music director. And then when the board approved Mark's requests for an accompanist, he chose Yvonne Ng, and that proved to be an outstanding partnership, Mark and Yvonne. We choir members will miss his good humor, patience, and musical judgment. And now I and other choir members are pleased to have Ria Yang as our new director. Of course, our music program has been benefited from not only professional musicians, but talented volunteers, the most outstanding of which has been Eric Pourchot, who accompanies the choir week after week with his amazing collection of string instruments, and who has organized special events like the recent Sunday service he called Dangerous Songs. There is much more I could say about music, but I've already exceeded my time. It's interesting that in retirement, some of us come to focus on something that formerly was just a small part of our life. That's the way it is with me for music. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron. We'll end our service today by meeting out in the walled garden. So there'll be a time where I'll give you directions and you just follow us. And nothing will be put out for coffee hour so that you'll come to the memorial garden, but also kind of just that assurance of this, that you can also have your cake and eat it too, but you have to wait. So, it's been a wonderful month of celebrating, and a lot of people have really stepped up and made this happen. I know that we've had a blood drive and people participated in that. Many of you have donated food. We appreciate that. And today I really want to give a shout out to our tech crew that, tirelessly work. And they were in here this morning making sure that we could have sound out in the garden. So they'd always work behind the scene, and sometimes it just magically happens. And when it does, we sometimes forget that there are people that are making it happen. So thank you so much for all your work. And now I invite you to sit back and enjoy the MVUC choir sing Welcome Home. Thank you, choir. This morning, as you came in, each of you were given a ribbon, and I will invite you sometime this week and next week to take that ribbon and to tie it on one of these tapestries. You know, you see 3 separate tapestries that are before you, and to me, they represent each of you. When the threads and ribbons are woven together, they become something really strong and noticeable. So I invite you to look at the colors, each unique, and how they create a texture that is both inviting and colorful. And today we gather not as separate strands, but as threads meant to be woven together. Each color, each texture, each life, unique and essential. And here we create a tapestry of belonging, strong enough to hold us in times of sorrow, beautiful enough to comfort us and celebrate in times of joy, flexible enough to grow with us as we imagine what love and justice can look like. So I invite you to open your hearts, let us join our voices, and let us weave together this moment, this service, this community of care and connection. Let us celebrate the tapestries of belonging. Welcome. Please stand if you are able to join in singing our opening hymn, 374, Gather the Spirit. Three whatever, 3 what? 347? Oh, 347.
Our chalice lighting this morning comes from the words of Reverend Michelle Collins. We light this chalice in honor of the families we build, the circles we choose, the bonds woven by care. May this flame remind us that love is the tie that makes us kin. Yeah.
And now can the children come forward for our story?
Hello. Would you like to come to the... That's all right. I have more. Come sit right here. Yeah, I have more here. So, all right. Okay, you can get your pink if you want. If you want to get your ribbons, that's fine. Make sure we've got our props. Come on, B1. All right. You ready? So have you ever had or seen a blanket or a scarf made out of many colors of yarn? We're having sound issue. I forgot my scarf this morning, by the way. But today, instead of blankets and scarves, I want to talk about something else. Thank you. I want to talk about, instead of blankets or scarves, we'll talk about a different kind of weaving today, a tapestry, and how it's a lot like us, all of us here together.
And a tapestry is made by weaving many threads together by themselves. Each thread is small, and if you pull on it, it can break. But when you take many threads, different colors, different textures, and weave them together, something strong and beautiful appears. So our community is like this tapestry. Many threads, many colors, and each of us is a thread, just like each of you are a thread. And some of us are bright and bold colors, and some soft and gentle, and some thick and some thin, but by ourselves we are special. But when we come together, look, we make this beautiful picture of belonging. And here's the best part of all, our tapestry is never finished. Every time somebody comes and joins us, they bring laughter, their questions, their love, and they add a new friend.
So today, I know you all have ribbons already. I have some other ones here. And each ribbon is your thread. It's going to represent you in here. So when you tie your ribbon onto this tapestry, you are saying, I belong here. I am part of this beautiful weaving. So can you take your ribbons here? And
So we'll help you.
Be very careful. We're going to tie them onto
Here.
the nails down here.
Okay, pick a place to do it. You have to make a, yeah, or we can go up here, like right here.
No, okay. So like we weave it through there. So we weave it like
Okay, and you know how you tie your shoe? Just to tie a little knot, yeah, just like, okay, yeah, just like that, yep. Okay.
Yes. That's right. This is a very slippery ribbon. Look, here you are, right here. Part of that tapestry.
There.
Just come back, though. Okay. Yeah, you got the ribbon. Yeah,
So,
you're good. Want to come here?
now congregation, I want you to say to these children, you are a thread in the tapestry of love. And you belong here.
So look what we've created together. We've got some big knots and some little knots and some woven pieces and some rough pieces and some smooth pieces. But this is all together, all of us, a tapestry of love and belonging and perfect ribbons. I love it, little bows. And each ribbon, each life, each story makes this community more beautiful and stronger.
And so your ribbon up here that you put up there is a part of this tapestry. And we want you to know that you're always a part of this community. Always.
And especially when we help each other, Thank you, Dorothy. You okay? We're good. All right, everybody.
And so I invite you throughout the week, and maybe sometime today, these will be on display. And the ribbon that you have, come and tie on any one of these. And as kind of saying that, recognizing that you are part of this tapestry as well. And if there's anyone today who might have a hard time doing that, raise your hand and the kids will come get your ribbon and tie it on.
Yeah. So if it's a little hard to get up the stairs, just say that, and we'll have you all, because you did a beautiful job. Look at these bows. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll have you go back to your seats.
And now you can go back to your seats and.
We come now to the morning offering. Mount Vernon Unitarian Church continues to share the plate with organizations that you, our members, have chosen. During the month of September, our offering is being shared with the Minister's Discretionary Fund. The Minister's Discretionary Fund is for the minister to support members and friends of MVUC who may be experiencing difficult financial transitions in their lives. In the past, the funds have helped pay a power bill, make a housing deposit, buy groceries, helped with travel, or to buy clothing. The minister may help pay for the registration for a special event or training for a member or friend. Sometimes a local direct service agency experiences a crisis with their own finances or with a client, and the minister can respond quickly with some financial support. All support is confidential, strictly between the minister and the recipient. Will the ushers please come forward? I now invite you to come forward in silence and light a candle of joy or sorrow.
I offer this song as a meditation on all those who came before us and as a prayer for all of you here now and those coming. And I want to thank Reverend Dave for inviting me to come from Vermont to sing this to you. It was written 30 years ago, before the windmill was restored. Turning, the wind is turning, and we are learning more. Learning, our hearts are learning what we've been yearning for. There's an old windmill on our holy hill, and it reaches for the sky. It's got so much to teach us, daring us to try to find our way to a holy hill, and the people gathered round. Can the old windmill have a lesson still, like others must have found? We're looking with our eyes, but in our hearts we will keep looking all our lives for a windmill on the hill. Come along, explore the treasures left us still by those who came before to a windmill on the hill. And the old mill pulls up from the hill, deep inside the earth, hidden warmth and waters that will quench our endless thirst. And the old mill is close to the wind that moves and breathes above, like a spirit that brings life energy. It's what we're all made of. Looking with our eyes, but in our hearts we will keep looking all our lives for a windmill on the hill. No matter where you go, whatever purpose filled, we will always know there's a windmill on a hill. The wind is turning, and we are learning more. Learning, our hearts are learning what we've been yearning for.
When my roommates and I started looking for a new house some years ago, I hated to leave Old Town Alexandria. I knew we probably wouldn't find something in town that fit 3 adults working from home and the children we hoped to have. But I hated giving up being able to walk everywhere. I walked everywhere, to the coffee shop, to the yarn store, to the farmer's market, and it was one of my favorite parts of where we lived. So when we moved, I set a condition. Wherever we ended up, I had to be able to at least walk to coffee. When we looked at the house we ultimately picked, I complained there was no coffee shop nearby, my one condition. But Tekla and Louisa had a secret weapon to get me on board. Katie, they said, you can walk to the UU church. So after we moved, on a Sunday morning when the weather was nice, I set off for church. I soon found there was one thing that Google Maps hadn't warned me about: that hill. I huffed and puffed my way up, enjoyed the service, and the next week I came back. And as I was headed up the hill, someone offered me a ride. I barely knew anyone's name. I don't know if anyone knew mine, but I was already woven into the tapestry of this community. I didn't accept it. I really do like walking, but it made me feel so welcomed to be asked. As I've gotten to know you all, it's happened all over, not just at the foot of the hill. I was offered a ride when someone saw me walking home from CVS. I get waves and hellos out the window when I ride my bike into Old Town or push the stroller down the street. In so many little ways, day to day, I'm reminded of the ways our lives are woven together. When we moved here, we wanted a place to find community and grow our family, and we found it. I found joy when I was expecting my daughter and shared sorrow when she died. I found excitement when my roommate's daughter, Margot, who is here today, was born earlier this summer, and acceptance of my family that does not look like other families. And while I really do love my walks, it reassures me to know that when I need it, someone will always be there to offer me a ride. Now please remain seated for hymn number 1020 in the teal hymnal, Woyaya.
When I was a child, I used to watch my grandmother weave on a loom. And I remember being really fascinated as a young child how she would take those loose threads, and none of them were really anything great on their own, but then she'd bring them together into something that was strong, that was beautiful, and that was useful. And sometimes I'd like to take a look at the back of the fabric, and what seemed messy with all sorts of knots and uneven strands, but on the front, there was this beautiful design, a pattern that told a story. And this morning, as I invite you to look upon the tapestries you see before you, when I started planning this service, I wanted something that would be visual, that would represent what it means as we come together with our different backgrounds, our different philosophies, our different places in life. And I was amazed, having never done this before, how these tapestries came together. It took me forever, but except Laura, who did it in a half hour, but that's another story. But, and as I was sitting there weaving these each week, I really was struck by the concept that this is really what community is about. As Unitarians, we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different families. But we come together as a community. And when we come together, we actually make something beautiful. I mean, look around. Look around at the people that are around you. Aren't they beautiful people? This is what community is about. This is what is needed in our world today. A place where people can come and feel and be loved. I remember the very first time that I was introduced to a Unitarian Universalist community. I was dating my now partner, Jerry, and everything was going great. It was, we were clicking, and I was visiting him in Cleveland, and he said, "Would you like to go to church tomorrow?" And I thought, church? Oh no, he's one of these religious zealots. Oh shoot. And then he said, "It's the Unitarian church." And all I could remember is my mother saying, "You got to watch those Unitarians, they're really a crazy lot." And so I said, "Oh yeah, sure, okay," thinking that, we would go, I'd make us late, would sit in the back, and then we could make a quick exit and would be done with this church thing. So I made us late, and we sat in the back. But we couldn't make a quick exit because after the service, everyone just swam. I don't know where they came from. "Oh, who are you? What you about?" Oh, and I just stood there. And the thing about it is, I don't remember the sermon that day, and I don't really remember a lot of people's names, but what I do remember most of all is how I felt. And that's that sense of I had found my people, I had found my tribe, I had found where I belong. And that's what it means to be in community. I know we've all had those situations where we go someplace and we look around and we don't feel welcome. We don't feel like we're a part of that. And so part of our challenge as members of this community is to make sure that when we have visitors and even people who come here regularly, that they feel welcome, that we reach out to them, that we ask them, "How are you? What's going on?" I remember, I think it was my second or third Sunday here, and I had been online at one of those online Zoom meetings for a committee. I believe it was finance, but anyway, so I wasn't too bored. But anyway, and I saw somebody that Sunday, and I said, "I really appreciate the questions that you asked," and I did, and later I found out that was something that person really needed to know that someone was listening. And so I share that with you, that we never know the effect that we can have. But that comes back to being this community, being present, reaching out, and always looking for how we can support each other. It's not about striving for perfection, because guess what? We'll never get there. But it's about being present. Being present in a way that people feel that, they understand that, and they want to come back and be a part of that. I'm also reminded that as each of you came up and tied your little ribbon to the tapestry, it's we're not meant to be alone. We're meant to be part of something. And so, in this concept of belonging, I will hope that you will leave here today knowing that you belong to this community, that you're welcome. Of course, we're not perfect, and we have all of the knots and the frays and everything else, but just as my grandmother was persistent on that loom, we are persistent at continuing to be a community, continuing to be welcoming, continuing to do great things, and continuing, most importantly, to be the light into the world that so desperately needs our light. So, how do we do that? It means being patient. It means talking to each other kindly. It means it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to get so angry and so that this is the only way. And so I admonish you as a community that we'll remember that we'll remember what it's like to be together, that we'll remember the feeling, that you'll remember the feeling that you had the first time that you came into the Unitarian Church. And that's that sense of community, that sense of belonging, that sense of being loved. These tapestries will be here for the next couple of weeks, and I invite you, if you didn't today, there'll be some ribbons. You can tie your ribbon on it. And it's a way of just saying, I belong, and you do. You all do belong. Now, today we're going to end our service in the garden area, kind of as a tribute to those who've gone on before. And so it will be a little tribute in the walled-in area. The chairs are already set up, and I just invite you to walk and follow us across through the common area, across the patio, down into there. And you'll have an opportunity to go into our memorial garden, and then we will be planting 2 trees, one for a woman, Farhat Chaudhry, I probably didn't get the name right, who really was dedicated in the nursery here, and Wendy, one of our members, has something to say as we plant that tree. And then we'll also plant a tree to celebrate the 70 years of this congregation. So now I invite you to go forth with us and walk out into the memorial garden. Ready?
Hey, y'all. Hi. For people watching online, we are not able to get video or audio to go onto our stream, so I'm very sorry, but we're going to have to log off right now. If you are able to come to honor ancestors who are in our memorial garden, we highly encourage that. If not, please light a candle for people who've come before you at home, and remember that you are still a cherished part of our community. Thank you.